and it's the Great Northern Sex Cast.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. I love the way 2020 sounds.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I remember being 10, 11, 12, okay, and calculating how old I would be in the year 2000.
Yep.
It is now 20 years later, and it's messing with my head.
I know. Yep, I remember being like in third grade. It was so funny because my mom and I used to go to breakfast at this place, and I remember trying to figure out, she was doing like a math quiz with me, and she's like, let's figure out how old you would be in, whatever. And so, yeah, and it's mind boggling, but we'll see what happens this year. It's got an interesting one, but on age and time passing sort of note, Howard Stern has an interesting take. He went on a rant recently, Howard Stern did, about America's Got Talent, and he's pissed off that the women keep getting replaced for younger versions, and Howie and Simon Cowell are still there. It's like they recycle them every couple of years.
Who was there was they just
Gabrielle Union?
Yeah, she wasn't even there that long. And from what I understand, she was like pointing out, going, I am not being treated the same as these other people. What is going on here? Yeah, and it wasn't just a general thing. I read several articles on this, and there's going to be more coming out. Very specific instances, So and there are people that are seeing this too, and they just don't. Yeah, the guys sit around forever, and they just keep cycling through the women, and there's got to be what's going on with there should be no reason for that. Yeah. At all. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, Howard Stern said, quote, "This is the ultimate example of a boys' club. 2 seasons in a row, the female judge is being fired while Simon and Howie soldier on." And he's like, it's ridiculous. It's always the women. And he said, it's one thing if they swept them all, but they never do. So, yay, Howard. Right?
I have seen several. He did an interview with David Letterman, I believe. This person needs no introduction, a few other things. And it was really fascinating to see how someone who was so, for lack of a better term, because everything is sort of, your own personal experience, for someone who was really quite vulgar and quite dismissive of folks that they're going through there. Yeah, hold on.
Because tell them what just happened, because that was really interesting what you just said.
We talked about it on previous shows, but I still had a little bit of a water issue in the building, and the city's here, and they got to put in a new meter, and they were going back and forth, and I gave them a door fob, a fob to go in and out, because it's winter and cold, and I don't want to crack the door open.
Right.
And they just knocked on the window, they're done here, and stopped for a moment because I wanted to make sure it's questioned. They just want to give the fob back.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to some stuff on the sofa that we'll get to. And, there's almost no reaction at this point. I mean, years ago, people would be interested in a really creepy way.
Yeah.
And then now I say, yeah, I'm doing a podcast, or this is Fantasy Gifts, or do that. And they go, okay. I still have a problem with email. When I send an email, sometimes it goes right to people's spam files. So I have to make sure I get in the safe sender list. But other than that, but it's just, this guy was probably early 30s.
Yeah.
So
he was a younger guy, yeah.
He goes, they don't care.
No.
And as, but I mean, they're interested in, like, well, just be, I mean, if this was a warehouse of anything, like, oh, that's cool.
Okay, but
sorry.
I need to set the stage for people here, because Colleen is sitting down, and I think he saw the straight shot into here. There are 3 gigantic dildos sitting here on the couch with Colleen, and another box of something which is plainly labeled in large letters, King Cock. So if nobody else is like, surprised by this, that thing you got in your hand right there, I mean, it's unfathomable that anybody puts that in anything that's an orifice.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
Okay, this is from Pipe Dream. I'm holding, we have 10, 12, and 14-inch versions here. We get them in more of a pale version, a little more Caucasian. We've got a sort of a cinnamon color, more of a Latinx color, and then, and I have to admit, the black is just black. Sometimes we get one that are more true skin color, but they didn't do it this time. Sometimes I just think I'm never sometimes quite sure what color I'm going to get. It's never the same every order.
Yeah.
But these are massive dildos. We're called King Cock. They're not at all the stores, but I know they're at Burnsville. Burnsville location. And the reason I brought him in here, because she's like, oh, New Year, great. You know, I said, well, I'll grab some stuff that we've got back in. It's sort of new. Mm-hmm. We're getting them in different colors. That's what's new. Because I can't post this stuff on social media.
Really?
It's a big penis. I can't do that. So I've been doing a lot more, and I'm going to be doing more social media trying in 2020. Well, you can put apps on your phone. It's easier to do. I'm getting more comfortable with all this sort of stuff.
But how are you going to talk about big giant dildos without getting banned?
But what I can do is I can write blogs about them.
Okay.
I can write blogs about them. I can put pictures of it on the blog because the blog is set inside my website, my e-commerce and stuff like that.
Okay.
So if you look at the Instagram in 2020 or Twitter like that, or even the or even Google, I pretty much have to stay away from the dildo wall and the masturbator wall. Mm-hmm. But so what I'm going to try and do, please, and it might only be like once a month, is the stuff that is more is body shaped, the penises, mm-hmm. the masturbation, stuff like that. I'm going to try and talk about that in blogs, and going through there and put some pictures there because I can do that. I can put this in the blog, but I can't put it on social media. But it is a hoot because they are absolute. Oh, they're made in the USA. They got a little flag on them, but they're massive dildos. We used to sell some really big ones. I mean, and it's a really good price. It's $90 because this has to weigh close to 10 pounds.
I think it's huge.
Because I think it weighs more than my purse. My purse is about 7.5. And so
I have to take a picture
mm-hmm.
of this. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I did this. I took a picture the last time we had a bunch of dildos sitting in here doing the podcast, and I sent it to a friend.
Yeah.
I said, guess where I am? And she wrote back,
then,
church? Question mark?
Yeah. Another thing, we have the stained glass windows. And then we also have another one, and what people have been asking for again. So this is sort of a customer request thing.
What is it?
This is a squirting dildo. They're sort of like, okay, so if you're a parent in the past 10, 15 years, you have seen the little blue bulb suckers that they have that suck the snot out of.
Oh, sure. Okay, for ears and noses.
So what that is that they've got a dildo. You fill up that bulb, you put it in the base of the dildo, and then you can squirt. The dildo can squirt. And people have been asking again for squirting dildos, and I can't even speak. But my favorite part of this whole box. Yes. I mean, mind you, it's a very nice penis.
Sure, it is.
And all three of them are. I'll go through it. Very nice. Yeah. But it says includes king cock, a refresh toy cleaner, but really hot soapy water. If you're doing that and you're washing, everything should be good. There is toy cleaner, and we do sell it. Mm-hmm. Business. There's the squirting bulb, which I described. Mm-hmm. But my favorite part of this is 2 fluid ounces of jizzle juice.
What is in jizzle juice? Do we know?
I'm going to assume it's a lube. I have to admit, I have not cracked this open. And, jeez. Yeah, my assumption was correct.
What is it?
Our proprietary jizzle juice smells and feels like real semen and was specially formulated to provide a friction-free fun. The thick, cloudy white formula mimics the properties of real cum and is perfect for all your nut-busting fantasies.
Okay.
I just got phone voice for jizzle juice.
Well, thank you. I think you did an incredibly good job.
So this is sort of the stuff that
I got to take a picture of this.
Yeah, so this is...
Okay, wait. I don't want to obscure anybody.
No. So this is the stuff that I want to talk a little bit more, maybe on the Sexcast, blog about... I've noticed that the social media, people are enjoying it. They're commenting. They're doing stuff. If people have questions about stuff, they can, leave a message on the blog site on one of the questions, and certainly be appropriate. I will block your ass if you're obnoxious in a second. Yeah, it has to be a serious question. Just because I'm female and I sell sex toys doesn't mean I want to do ya.
Yeah.
And that has not sometimes changed in the 30 years
Which
I've been
is
doing
too
this
bad.
Occasionally, but it's going through because I rarely, it still happens every now and then, but I don't even respond. They're just gone. It doesn't happen as much. It still does, but you go the hell away immediately. So, but the one of them, the 10-inch one, is actually pretty thick. It's called a 10-inch,
and like the other two
aren't. Chubby. But this one, it is a little bit thicker and it has a much larger base. Some of these can be because there's a suction cup on the 12-inch, and it's more of just a deep base on the 10-inch and the 14-inch, and of course the king cock with the balls has balls. And what I like about the line too is that there's some movement in there. Some of the when folks are making a nice realistic penis now, it's nothing like it was years ago. Just sort of a solid shape that someone had painted some really bizarre blue veins on. I mean, that's what was available. It's not like I chose it, but I mean the paint, the artwork, the care, the artistry that goes into making a lot of the dildos and stuff. It's really nice. It really is. Because I mean, if I'm going to spend any amount of money on something, I would like it to be pretty.
It's the packaging is great, but I mean, the only one that doesn't absolutely terrify me is the squirting one,
the 8-inch squirted cock with balls. Yeah,
right.
But it's just, and what I really do like is that it going into this next decade and all this sort of stuff, and we've learned is that you don't need to have obnoxious nude people on packaging to sell things, because I don't want to make this jock is from Curve Toys. Sorry. I realize I have a second company here that I didn't know about. One of them is from Curve Toys. But you don't want to make an assumption on who's going to use this toy.
No.
I've never did that. I've tried to make, it's going through there. I don't.
Horses? I don't know.
Yeah, there are some, but there are some things that are made for people with penises, and then there are things that are made for people with vaginas. But as we're learning, especially in this past, 2-3 years, a lot of different people have those parts, and I'm not, and I've been, fighting for years to have really completely gender neutral packaging. It's just simply not necessary. I don't, you don't need to presuppose who's going to use it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, actually, that's a really good point. But I also think that they look less seedy. Just being like, it's, this is what it is, versus, the... Oh,
I just don't know why you need a naked guy's armpit or that little curve of his butt crack, because it's usually the arms, or, yet another woman with airbrush beyond belief with boobs that, defy, gravity.
Yeah.
It's just not, I don't need any preconceived, and my customers don't, any preconceived ideas about how this could be used.
Yep.
It's going through there.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. I am so envious that this was not me finding this scene and taking this video, because to encounter this would make my year. Okay. All right. This happened in Las Vegas. And, excuse me, this guy spotted a group of pigeons hanging out near a dumpster in Las Vegas. Not an unusual thing. Yep. Mm-hmm. Except a couple of the birds were wearing miniature cowboy hats. So this guy, he's a 26-year-old guy named Bobby Lee. He saw the pigeons. He couldn't believe his eyes. So he's taping a video. He put it up on Facebook. The fucking birds have hats on, bro. And he's like, what the fuck? And he's had like 100,000 views on this thing. And
honestly, I thought there would be more. How do you not? I mean, although by the time,
how did only 2 get the hats? And were the other ones bitter that they did not have headgear?
And how do you know that like cowboy hats are a pigeon's preferred
versus a fedora?
Because right. I'm thinking that like a beret or something, because if you're pecking, do you want a brim getting in the way?
I can't believe you. You know what?
I mean, personally, I just don't think this would be a viable hat for a bird.
Okay. Here's the best part. Okay. And here's the Colleen part of the story. Animal welfare groups got involved, and they're trying to figure out how the birds got the headwear. Some are worried that the hats could be hampering the birds as they forage for food. Just what you said. Mm-hmm. Or hurting them in some other way. They're
not used to it. They could get caught doing something.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. But one bird expert said no, we can't verify it because they can't talk to us. But he said, they're basically, it's probably pretty much, they're probably okay. The police department said it doesn't appear to be a police matter at this time. And the guy on the video, there's that shit you see in my neighborhood, man. But yeah, pigeons wearing hats. Like, how great. I mean, wouldn't that just keep you entertained for like a week?
2 cowboy hat wearing pigeons now in custody. 1 still at large.
Uh-oh. See?
Oh my God. So maybe by the time this airs, maybe they found the third pigeon. Or maybe.
Well, I certainly hope so. Does it say anything? Were they able to identify the source of the hat?
Another pigeon with a cowboy hat on its head has been safely captured. The pigeon rescue group, Lofty Hopes, says Billy the Pidge is now safe. They brought it to a veterinarian who says the hat was glued to the bird's head.
Okay, that's not nice.
No, that's not nice at all. They looked at see how bad it was glued on, see if they could see any damage underneath. It needed immediate attention. As bad as it looks, we lifted the hat. It doesn't look like there was any harm. The little pigeon, she was surprisingly calm. She was much more laid back than Chuck Norris was after his capture.
Okay. Well, that stands to reason.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can I see the picture?
Yeah, it looks as though, here, you can just scroll. It looks as though they may have lost a feather or two.
Okay.
But I mean,
there they are.
I would not glue.
You don't glue anything.
No,
that's not, no. Now I'm pissed. Yeah. It was funny until it wasn't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see that. Yeah, Chuck Norris is the other bird they saved earlier this week. Its hat was also glued on. The vet had to trim its feathers to take the hat off.
That's not too terrible.
Now, mind you, there were it's still unknown who put the hats on the birds. The rescue group is currently trying to safely capture Calamity Jane.
Well, we wish them luck.
Yeah, the whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas thing, this should not, this should never happen in Vegas. This shouldn't happen anywhere. I mean, believe me, there are a lot of fun things in Vegas.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why you would.
But gluing things to animals who are innocent is not fair. Mm-hmm. You can put your own virtue in peril as much as you'd like, but don't be fucking with the birds. Just saying, literally or figuratively. I just threw this in here because it blew my mind. Last week we talked about $120,000 banana duct taped to a wall. The world's most exclusive, largest private collection of whiskey ever to go up for sale is going on the block, and you need to have anywhere from 9.2 to 10.5 million to get this.
This sounds like something George Clooney would buy.
Well,
because he's got his other booze or this or that, or
tequila
and stuff like that. But I could see them getting whiskey. Or did you see? Remember we talked about the Peloton thing, and I know it made another thing that Ryan Reynolds hired her to do a commercial for Aviation Gin Online.
Oh, good.
It is hilarious. So she's sitting there, and she's like just dead-eyed stared. And there's her friends on either side of her at the bar, and they all have drinks in front of them. And she is saying, I'll have to find this and link it. She finally says, this gin is really smooth. And they're like, and then one's like, yeah, there is. Let's have a little toast. And she just downs it. I mean, just downs it like it's water, right? And they're like, oh, I guess we'll get another one. And one of them just slides your drink over and then grabs the empty one and said, ooh, tonight's going to be fun. Because from what I saw, I read a little article about this, that the actress herself was getting shit.
Yes, so is the guy in the commercial.
So they, so I'm not sure what the guy's up to, but Ryan Reynolds hired her for this commercial, and said she is incredibly funny and had great timing, and they was like within 36 hours they had this up on the air.
Great. Great. Well, I certainly hope those actors don't deserve the fallout. They're just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
So yeah. In other weird technological news, and I mean this, I don't know. Just let me throw it out there to you. There's a Russian farm experimenting with virtual reality equipment that puts cows over cows' eyes so that they think that they are lazily idling in sunny green pastures, and they're trying to see if it's going to have an effect on milk production because they're happier because they think they're in a meadow. What do you think?
I have in fact seen this story. I started following several months ago a Facebook and an Instagram page called TDF Farming. It's Tillamook Dairy Farms, whatever. It's this farmer. And so it's and he commented about it. He goes, no, the cows are happy and they don't need goggles. Okay. And I'm like, no, once again, sort of like the little hats on the pigeons. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the cows don't need the goggles.
Stop
messing with the animals. I mean, honestly, maybe just people just aren't having enough sex that they have to like think of things like this to do. Mm-hmm. Or they are just going through their, or go see. I mean, it's been out for about 2.5 weeks now, or 3 weeks almost. Go see the Star Wars movie again. Just go get yourself some Disney Plus and go watch yourself some Baby Yoda. I don't even watch the new movies. I don't even watch anything. I don't watch any of that shit. I want a Baby Yoda. It's the cutest goddamn thing ever. But the whole thing of a little mug. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the video where he's like, people put different songs to it and he's leaning and pressing his butt. You know what that is? That's amazing puppeteering. Oh, yeah. I'm just fascinated. Okay, sorry. Just totally. But no, do not put goggles on cows. Do not put little hats on pigeons. I mean, if you feel like you need to do these things, just find a quiet place away from people and just masturbate.
Sure.
Just get rid of some, whatever tension, whatever it is that's making you do this dumbass shit. Just go have a little moment, take care of yourself, and then move on without messing with like wildlife.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Point taken. Mm-hmm. In honor of Christmas, Anheuser-Busch gathered a total of 896 couples at 3 different U.S. locations to kiss under mistletoe and broke into the Guinness World Records for the most people kissing under mistletoe at once.
That can't be right. That's not enough people.
896 couples. That's almost 2,000 people.
I know, but it still seems like in this day and age that it'd be really, that there'd be more. I mean, because there's some things are just huge. Like, when people like do things for hours or days or, stuff like that. This doesn't seem like that much.
Well, the previous record was only 57, so it was an easy one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's cute, it's romantic, but people put so much pressure, on the holidays. Just sort of enjoy them. There's not a lot, now that we're past them, people should really sort of, reevaluate maybe their shoulds,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yep.
Speaking of shoulds, Lizzo. Have you heard of her?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't she the one with the minuscule purse at...
Yeah, oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
It was like...
Yeah, she was like, this is the amount of fucks I have to give. And it was from the tiny purse. I mean, I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, I was pretty funny.
And she had a beautiful dress, and she's a big... She lived here for like 2 years, so like Minnesotans are pretending that she's Minnesotan.
That we own her, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. There isn't anything that, in the art world that Minnesota won't grab as someone like, it's hilarious. Most people do this. I mean, she was here for 2 years. She did... performer for 70. She did, she does have a very, very, she was very welcomed here, and this was where she was right before she went to Los Angeles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what's funny about that, though, is being a transplanted Californian, I do notice like how Minnesota doesn't just claim artists. Minnesota kind of claims everything. But what's even funnier, the thing that I noticed in news, and this was when I was in news, is how everything you had to find a Minnesota connection, which at first I thought was weird and maybe narcissistic, but the more it was kind of cute. And it was almost like in the movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, how the father could always turn everything into the Greek word.
Yeah.
That's what Minnesota is about everything. Yep. Well, the Minnesota connection, blah, 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 blah. Hilarious. Anyway, Lizzo. Mm-hmm. She was pretty excited when her song Juice got played at the Laker game against the T-Wolves last week. And so she danced in her seat. And at one point, she flipped up her skirt to twerk, showing off fishnets and the thong she was wearing. And she got chided for it. And she basically went back and said, you don't have to be like me. You need to be like you. And don't let anybody stop you or shame you for being yourself. And
she is very fond of her body. She took a long time to get fond of her own body.
Yep.
And there's nothing, this was nothing out of character. Mm-mm. So why but she's on a much more national stage. And of course people have to be, assholes about everything.
What the fuck? Yeah, I know.
But she is hilarious. She was in the movie The Hustlers with J-Lo too. She had a part in that. I didn't realize that.
I didn't see it yet.
I never got around seeing it. So when it pops up on something, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, me too. I like J-Lo.
I like her music, but actually my favorite song of hers, she's got all this other stuff. But when I started sort of realizing who she was, and a couple friends were following her on Instagram, so I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah.
She has a song called Where the Hell My Phone?
Lizzo?
Yeah. Look this up. Enjoy it. Because I cannot look for my phone now, or actually my glasses, because I put them in there, without hearing
her
Lizzo in my brain.
That's fantastic.
It is totally spectacular. I mean, it's not I mean, I'm not going to go out. I mean, I enjoy it when it comes on the radio and this and that, but I've never really bought a lot of music. But it is fun. I've enjoyed her, and I enjoy I don't care what size you are. I just really enjoy the fact that she is just really, really comfortable with every inch of herself.
Yeah, that's nice and good for her. Applaud. Somebody finally tested it, the limit that I feel has been pushed a few times. An Arizona man went to the Prescott Valley, Arizona place to register as emotional support animal, and it was a beehive. A lot of people thought it was funny. Some people got upset, but he was doing the stunt to highlight the fact that people are abusing it. And he said, he said he was somewhere and he said he went into a store and there was a service dog that was visibly untrained. And he said you could tell the dog was not a service animal. It was yanking the owner through the parking lot all the way through the store, not well behaved at all. And he wanted to protest how easy it is for people to do this.
I have seen that there are several states that are going to are working on some laws for some pretty high dollar fines for folks that misrepresent what a therapy dog or a emotional support as an actual trained dog for someone that, for diabetes or mobility or, there are actually only a few things the dogs have been trained, to do, and work around. And I'm fine. I mean, animals are amazing. I mean, they do. They lower your blood pressure. They're there for you. They care for you. They know when you're sick. They know when you're feeling good. I mean, there are very, very valid reasons, for many people to have their animals with them. Mm-hmm. But there are places where I don't want to see that animal. It's going through there. I mean, if you're blind or diabetic, there are, if you are a true person that needs to have that dog, a truly trained animal, fine. Bring it into the restaurant, bring it on the plane, do this or that.
Yeah.
If your dog is small enough, I don't care what, honestly, dogs should be allowed on planes because they can die underneath. Bring your pets on and stuff like that. But I just don't know if I need to be sitting next to someone's emotional support chicken or duck. Someone brought a goose on and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I know that's the animal they bonded with. And I get that. But I do think that people need to realize that if they've chosen an animal that works for them, that is several steps out of the ordinary, there could be issues.
Yes, yes, it does, definitely. So a gal in England named humorously Becky Crocker, they were on a road trip. Her parents were there and she had her infant in the back and dad was driving and she was eating gummies. And she initially thought there was a couple stuck together, but she had a perfect penis and two balls and it's going viral because of a gummy bear. And it's like, I think it's humorous that the same stupid shit that, was a manufacturing glitch, something stuck, or when it was on the conveyor belt, it didn't, whatever. And now everybody can show everybody their stupid shit. And that happened across the Atlantic, and we're talking about it.
Yeah, we sell gummy penises. You don't have to wait for a mistake.
Oh,
you could. Yeah, I mean, we don't always have them because it's usually during bachelorette season and stuff like that, and they are edible. They do have expiration dates and stuff like that. But for the most part, we do sell gummy penises.
Cool.
And
now
going through there.
Cool.
I think do we still have a sour ones in? I can't remember. I'd have to ask Tara, but I know that we have had them, and I do find. I snapped a picture. I was at Costco. There's a business Costco here in the Twin Cities, and I went in and I came around the corner. And I'd been in there earlier, and I was completely flabbergasted by 5 gallons of soy sauce.
Oh yeah.
But what really got me is I came around the corner when I was the 208 liter barrel of olive oil, and there were 3 of them on a pallet. It was like 3 55-gallon drums of olive oil. It was like $860 some. And I just stood there for minutes and minutes and minutes. And I took a picture of this and I shared it because I was gobsmacked by how one would use that much. I mean, I can see a restaurant going through 5 gallons of soy sauce if you're, just going through there. I'm trying to figure out, because you want your olive oil to be fresh, not that old. There's a whole bunch of a lot of oil that Americans do. And then I looked at it, and then of course because of my business, I'm like, you can have a lot of sex in that olive oil. And then I'm like, do they have really big rubber sheets here? And so my brain went for there, went there. But I was but yeah, I have to admit, I snapped a picture, immediately shared it in a bunch of different places with different headlines depending on where I was sharing it.
Yep.
Over the fact that you can, in fact, get 208 liters of olive oil at Costco.
Yes.
For $800+.
Yes.
And I said, what if you could get lube? So my brain just, there was a big barrel of lube you could get from one company years ago and stuff like that.
A barrel?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just trying to think about.
Well, I think most of that stuff might be used. They probably have it, but some clubs have used to have Jello wrestling. Now they'll have lube wrestling and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, and if you want a high quality lube, it does cost a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
It's going through there if you want to, not a lot of ingredients, just a few things. We sell a brand called Uber Lube, and it's a nice lube, but the packaging's beautiful because it's a glass bottle, but it's a little rounded and stuff like that, and Pure and Wicked keeps selling and all that. And the ingredients cost a little bit. Yeah. So we tend to sell slightly smaller bottles because a lot of times people want to try a different flavor. Nobody needs 8 ounces of cinnamon apple candy lube. Because, you just, you're like, okay, I'm done with that flavor.
Yeah, it was fun for a minute.
Yeah. So we sell smaller bottles of, people are fine
That's
with that.
probably good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
and besides, they're also, you can take them on an airplane.
There you go. Mm-hmm. North Carolina police are on the lookout for a man dubbed the Pantsless Prowler after several home security cameras spotted him lurking in a neighborhood after dark without pants.
Okay, but you didn't mention without underwear. Is that implied when you were
implied
when it's sans pantless?
They call it a sometimes half naked man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, I have a high. Well, my friends and all have a high level of pedantics.
Mm-hmm.
Rather pedantic. So I want to know whether or not because I mean, really, if the guy's sit out there, and I mean, he could have been wearing a skirt. That would be a pantsless man.
Well. There's all sorts of people.
Sans clothing waist down.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that there hasn't been any burglaries, but people just need to be aware. So the community's writing in. One said, well, maybe it's somebody who was cheating and he didn't have time to get his pants. The other one said he could be a sleepwalker. I've gone outside before. So, anyway, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, the sleepwalking, I mean, there's a comedian, Mike Birbiglia, that pretty much he had a one-man show about, he has about his sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And it's got in a book and all that sort of stuff. And it sounds absolutely horrifying. I mean,
it can be.
That he has to practically strap himself down at night so he doesn't, in a completely non-sexual way so that he does not
take off.
Yeah, injure himself or any, stuff like that.
Get out in the street. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I was a pretty active sleepwalker as a child, and I kind of outgrew it. Mm-hmm. But my mom said that I would get up and she'd be still awake and I'd follow her around, and she said it was the creepiest thing because, you're there, but you're not, and she said it was just and I'm her kid, but that was kind of funny. I love this. A guy in Maryland, an obviously happy, considerate husband went to the convenience store to pick up the special cookies for his wife who was craving something. She was pregnant, and it's a certain kind of cookie that she likes. And so he went in there. There's only one store in town by them that had them. He went and he decided to buy a $10 scratch off because he saw somebody else buy one, and they won $100,000. How cool is that?
I rarely go inside a gas station now. You just don't need to. It's going through there. So, but every now and then I go. My dad loved himself a lottery ticket.
Oh, I think it's fun.
So I don't do it every time I go to the gas station, but every few months I'm inside and I'll pick up, the tickets and do that. And it's just a lot of fun. I think I've got one in my purse right now. I'm getting like $2 back. You know,
I know.
Something
then
like
you
got
to remember to get in there. Mm-hmm. Did you see this? I had to bring it up. The penis fish that washed ashore up in like central Northern California.
Oh yeah, something.
Thousands and thousands of them, and the pictures we've got to. We'll post the link because the picture there. I mean, it looks like penises. I mean, they really do, and they are Eurechus calpo. And they were, thousands of these washed up, and they said strong storms may have forced them out of their burrows and exposed them to predators. It's happened in different places, and these are, they're also known as innkeeper fish because they burrow and then they get bored and they move on. But other things like clams and things go in, live where they are. But they're basically sea worms, and they don't have any teeth. But they can live up to 25 years. But beached penis fish.
Oh, I mean, just when you look at, you look at something, you're like, okay, that's going to make a story. Because, I mean, obviously beached, things get beached all the time, but you don't hear about it. But if it's penis fish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that and the guy that got his balls bit off by a seagull. Remember that one?
Yeah. Wait, it was only one ball, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still that was so bad. Mm-hmm. A TV reporter was out. She was reporting from a 5K race outside of Savannah, Georgia, and she was, on TV, and one of the runners went by and smacked her on the ass, and she tweeted out. Look, whoever smacked my butt on live TV, you violated, objectified, and embarrassed me. No woman should ever have to put up with this at work or anywhere. Do better. Fellow reporters are, up to it. And, what a dick. Like, just because you're finishing the race doesn't mean you get to, be a douchebag to this poor woman who was just standing there doing her job.
I don't, yeah. It's like, though, excuse me.
Yep.
Because as a reporter, you could have seen a camera, this or that. It's so tacky. I'm not exactly sure what makes people think that somebody else wants to be annoyed.
Right.
What about it? And how are you even shouldn't you be wrapped in a silver blanket and getting a snack somewhere? Why are you bothering people?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a story out. I told you we this comes up every once in a while. There's a story that was on. It was done by ProPublica, and they did this in-depth article, and we're going to post a link to it about the dangers of online dating. But the gist of it is one thing, and some of the
so there's something new in the danger of online dating.
No, but basically,
or did rates of STDs are up because people aren't thinking about it anymore.
No, it's that all of the above. Okay. But the point of it is, what I'm saying is the Match.com empire, which has Tinder, OkCupid, and plenty of fish. They said, okay, here's the deal: the non-paid sites are more dangerous because we don't collect or can't collect as much information. When you've got the paying people, there's a layer up. So you might want to consider that as just a baseline. But sex assault, things like that related to dating apps. It's you got to be careful. So read the article, get some really good tips on how to protect yourself if that's what you want to do. I met my husband on Match, so.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they had some Match had gobbled up some of the other companies.
Oh yeah,
going through there.
Yeah, they did. So this is interesting. Do you remember when we talked about the successful penis transplant a couple weeks ago? And but they did not implant the testicles because the donor was against his wishes. This one was a testicular transplant. But it was from one identical twin brother to another. One was born without any, and the other one said, I'll give him one of mine. And they don't have any rejection issues because they're identical. The same and all of that. But they're saying, well, is, that a problem, et cetera, et cetera. And they're all like, hey, look, this is our business. But it does raise a new area of consideration.
But honestly, if they're identical twins, their DNA is the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the meaning of identical twins. Had they been fraternal twins, there could have, then you've got an issue.
Right.
But that was identical twins.
Right.
And I do think, I mean, honestly, if you can sell your sperm for IVF and all the different things, I mean, there are sperm banks. It's the same thing as a testicle bank.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, in my mind, going through there.
Or, yeah. And like if you are passing away, and you decide that you're going to donate those body parts, I think one of the conditions should be that if somebody takes that testicle or the pair and reproduces that offspring has no right to go back after. Because it was, okay. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's something that we got to deal with because it's going to,
because I don't think you do, because I mean, I know that women donate ovums, for stuff like that. You can donate eggs, and I don't know, but it seems to, that doesn't. I've never heard of a case where someone went back to the egg donor family, and
there's a lawyer somewhere who would try it. Trust me.
Yeah, it does seem to be more. You hear about a lot of stuff. Yeah. Well, it's probably like the same thing. Is that for zillions of years, guys didn't even like really acknowledge that lesbianism exists. I mean, there are all sorts of prohibitions against guys having sex, but with each other. But and so it's sort of forget that women can donate ovums too.
Yeah,
go through that, and there's half the DNA right there.
For sure, for sure. And finally, on this first show of 2020, we'll end with Paris Hilton because I couldn't find anything on Gwyneth Paltrow for this week. I apologize. But Paris Hilton, of all of the, it people and party circuit people or whatever, I couldn't stand her. Like she bugged me more than anybody else bugged me. And again, just like the Kardashians, they're out there, they're everywhere. I don't hate them. I ignore them because I don't care. She bugged me. Okay. Even though I tried to stay away from her. So now she's out, at age 38, sat down for an interview with the LA Times and said, well, today I wouldn't be shamed for my sex tape because it's, the Me Too era. And she says it was revenge porn. She got so much publicity from that tape and et cetera, et cetera. So now she's on her.
She had enough money to turn it around to her advantage.
Yeah.
She had a lot of privilege to turn it around to her advantage. Going through there. I mean, she looked at the same thing with the Kardashians. I mean, they made money at the fact that Kim made a P tape. Just going through there. And they had enough money and privilege already to profit off of what was supposed to, be revenge porn or stuff like that.
Right.
And most folks cannot do that.
Right.
And so it's a little hard to take that seriously when honestly, how much did it hurt her in the long run? She's not unemployable.
Right.
She's going through there. Yeah. And the thing is honestly, even without, and with some of the stuff she did, there's more than enough. There's my voice again. There's more than enough stuff to give her crap about that has nothing to do with the fact that she had sex on tape. Right. And it got out there.
Right.
But, it's just the advantages of privilege and money right there.
Well, and she profited even more than the wealth she started out with from that having gone out there. So boo fucking who. All right. So on that note, anything else for Happy New Year from you?
No. Like I said, I think I mentioned it before. I'm going to be doing a little more social media. There is a newsletter, but I wasn't writing one because letter freaked me out. So what I'm going with is news paragraph.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to try and blog more. I'm going to try and keep folks a little bit more up to date with what's going on with stuff because there's a lot of fun things and toys and stuff in the sexual health industry. And I'm hoping that I can have a little more time to do some of the stuff because I enjoy doing it. I just
and you haven't had the time. Write well too.
Go through there.
Okay. Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.